We were speaking about awards earlier. We were saying about Lager. You don't know who got the Video of the Year award that year, but you know, you would have liked to see that either nominated or winning. Obviously, we had the Rated Awards. I feel like it kind of slipped under our radar a little bit. That was last week, Thursday.
Yeah.
Surprised. It felt mad quick, like short. Like under an hour and that.
Yeah, to the point where I didn't even get a chance to watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
Nah, because bruv, I was putting my little one to bed. Like
Fair
I thought.
Sorry.
I thought like you know, by the time I sort her out and stuff,
you'd get to it.
I'd get to it and it would still be on.
Okay.
But it finished and I was like, huh?
No, it was quick. Hosted this year by Jordan Dunn and Michael Dapper, which was cool.
Good job.
Okay-ish job. You can. They had a lot of something. You know, it feels like, you know when you're reading off the teleprompter.
Yeah.
They had a lot of like current, like culturally relevant stuff happen recently. Bars to kind of use like, okay, that's a reference point. That's in whatever when they're like about to announce an award or the bit they talk about before an award. So yeah, it was cool. I think that's obviously quite hard to do because we get this mad production, but you could just be stood there with a green screen behind you and it's just, you know, I don't know what the actual atmosphere is in it. So reading out loud in front of a lot of people ain't easy, bro.
Yeah, man, it's not.
And off a prompter,
it's not at all, man. And some people, like, you know, you got to watch them work at it to become the best, and some people are just naturally good at it.
Because Julia Mo did a good job when it was still audience.
They're naturals.
And then they did a good job when we did the virtual thing. So I was interested to see how this worked this year innit? with new hosts and stuff. So yeah, man. I mean, I could pull. I mean, if I can grab some of the winners, because I know we had an extensive like breakdown in regards to who might win. Yeah. So I think I'll go for some of the top ones, debate ones. So I think this one, our conversation got tasty when we was talking about our predictions. We spoke about album of the year. AJ Tracey, Flu Game, Bugsy Malone, The Resurrection, D Block Europe, The Blueprint, Us versus Them, Fredo, Money Can't Buy Happiness, Gets, Conflict of Interest, Heady One, Edna, K-Trap, Street Side Effects, Lowski, Music, Trial and Trauma, A Drill Story, Nines, Crabs in a Bucket, and Slow Tie, Tyron, and Gets won. Yeah, I was so happy to see it, bro.
Very happy.
And that was a very difficult category.
Yeah, like for me, it would have been my vote was Nines' album. Yeah, like which just by a fraction edges Gets is for me personally. Yeah, but to see Gets win that was amazing. Because for me, an artist of Gets' stature, those are the types of awards that he should be winning. Yeah. And how he's been putting his albums together of recent. So, yeah, I think salute Gets on that one, man. Like, I can't even fault that decision at all.
I don't think a lot of people are angry at that. Like,
yeah, no, it's well deserved.
I'm with you. If anybody else is maybe going to win, I'm looking at a Nines, Crabs in a Bucket. I'm like, yeah. D Block Europe have also got a very strong fan base, so, you know. Yeah, I would. If it's a case for them.
Edna was successful as well. Yeah. So
I'm talking to like not just numbers, cultural impact, and like how we looked at your stuff. I was like, Gets was a dark horse for me because the album was just good and like everybody. I feel like everybody I spoke to and the feedback I got, everybody enjoyed it. Yeah, you know. So we'll go female artist of the year, which for me was an interesting category because I didn't feel like there was a true standout. So Bree Runway, Darko, Any, Ivorian Doll, Georgia Smith. Lady Leisha, Miss Banks, Shabo, Steph London, and Midas Jagaban, and Georgia Smith won that category.
I don't mind Georgia Smith winning that, to be honest. Her last project was good for me. Yeah. Her feature on
Giggs' album.
She washed Giggs. She went in on her verse on that one.
Singing and rapping.
Pen Black Girls remix. She did her thing on that as well. Yeah. So that's a pretty good year for me, to be honest.
I think that's the fairest one on there because if Steph London had won again, it would have been brazy. After last year, after the previous year, her saying that I've not even put anything out and I won. Yeah. Of course, her fans picked it. It's a fan vote, innit? So fair enough, they pick her. But I don't think it would have been fair for her to win again. And everybody else hadn't, for me, done enough. Obviously, Shaba and Ivorian Doll are having good moments. But I still feel like with what you've mentioned, Georgia Smith still kind of overshadows what they've done so far. Not to discredit them.
For me, Shabo would have been the closest one, aside from
and she's on George's project.
Just they're on each other's projects, and like I like what Shabo's doing at the moment.
Yeah.
The singles that she's been dropping as well, I've enjoyed it.
We can go to Male Artist of the Year. We've got AJ Tracey, Abracadabra, Central C, Chip, Digga D, Fredo, Gets, Heady One, Potter Paper, and Tion Wayne. I think we're saying at the time like some of these obviously interchange with other categories. So like if someone like a Gets wins Album of the Year, then for me he's probably not going to win Male Artist of the Year. And in the end he did win Album of the Year. So in this category, Central C won Male Artist of the Year. And I was looking like, again, similar to maybe like a D Block Europe.
Impact-wise,
fan
he's
base.
had a huge impact.
Yeah. Recency bias obviously being newer as well.
Yeah, I mean, like for some people, they probably would have given him the best newcomer, but to another section of people, he may not be seen as a newcomer. But he's had.
I think it's fair for him to be the newcomer.
Yeah,
I think
he's had a very big year. I'm not necessarily a fan of Central C, but I see what he's doing. His campaigns have been crazy.
Collaboration with Trapstar. The Tate Wild West.
Yeah.
Wild West, I can't remember.
On the Stay Free Get Lizzie song.
He's going international with the collaboration and stuff. So I know what you mean. You can see where they're going with him, innit? So
yeah. So,
and funny enough, you are right. It was called Breakthrough of the Year, and he won that category as well.
Yeah. So I think that probably for me would have been better suited for him to win that, as opposed to Best Male Artist.
So who would you like to see to win Male Artist instead? AJ Tracey, Abracadabra, Chip, Digga D, Fredo, Gets, Heady One, Potter Paper, and Tion Wayne.
I think Fredo's had some big moments, hasn't he? Didn't he drop 2 projects this year?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was looking at it, I was like, I wouldn't have been. I thought for me, the 2 people probably going to win that would have.
Heady's had a good year as well.
I thought it was between Potter Paper, Tion, and Digga D, personally.
Yeah, I think.
I wouldn't have been mad if
does like Digga D have a project?
Yeah, but Digga had a project out as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's a close one with those guys because they've all put in work.
Yeah, he made an appearance come out this year.
Yeah, they've all put in work, and some have been more successful than others in terms of chart position and numbers and stuff, but some have stuck, with the amount of songs that they've been putting out.
Yeah, I won't do Overkill. I'll pick, let me see one that's always a big one that we didn't have.
Did NSG win one? I think they've been deserving of an award over the past year or so. They provide so much vibes. Let
me go Track of the Year. A1 and J1 Latest Trends. Abracadabra on deck. You know we love that one here.
Yeah.
Central C Loading. Digga D Woy. Any Peng Black Girls featuring Amir Brave. Heady One Storms in AJ Tracey. Ain't It Different. Nines Airplane Mode with NSG. Big song. Parcelu My Family. Big song. Potter Paper Purpose. Big song. Tion Wayne and Russ Body and Body One. I wasn't surprised, and I think that's the fairest because it's the biggest one. Yeah. Because if that doesn't win, whoever you pick out of the others, everyone else has a fair claim. Because if you then go Nines Airplane Mode, I can go to Parcelu My Family. Yeah. Because we were robbed of that moment in the dance when that was popping. We were robbed of that moment, mate. And then Digga D can go. I want Woy to win.
Yeah. Big song.
Fair argument. Abracadabra's got a fair argument on deck. So I think with that one, you just kind of go for who's done the most numbers, and I think Body's done that, and it shut down the place. And it was also the moment. It meant a lot because I think Tion Wayne. That's it. Tion Wayne talks about in his speech, like people not giving Russ enough credit. And the fact that like he's kind of come back from adversity and he found another song again. Yeah, was able to get back in pocket. Mama's out here buying rollies for his whole team. Like he's enjoying life and that after kind of being looked at as maybe kind of done out here. But my man found another song. Yeah. That brief kind of life in his career, and also helped Tion in and around his album, having another moment. Yeah, so, definitely. So I think I think that was very fair. And also that got Video of the Year as well. So okay. Yeah. That's it though. That's the one that's always, so I know that there's loads in there, but I think the last one we'll do is Radio DJ of the Year. That's always a stat category. Okay. Charlie Sloth, DJ Target, Dotty, Henry, Kenny Allstar, Robert Bruce, Reese Parkinson, Snoochie Shy, Tiffany Calver, and then Yinka and Shayna Marie, and of course Charlie Sloth won. I think he's won like 5 out of 6. I think the only year he didn't win was last year, I think, when Kenny Allstar won. So I was like, okay, maybe this is like changing of the guard, and you know.
That's surprising to me because I haven't seen anything from Charlie Sloth which is worthwhile. Obviously he created a brand in Fire in the Booth, which it doesn't have the same effect that it did when he was at BBC.
Do you think if my company is helping to sponsor the GRM Gala, I'm not going to win an award? You're sick. You're insane.
I don't rate that, to be honest.
I could be wrong, but I can't help sponsor your event and I'm not still a dead cert to win an award.
Yeah, I hear that, but I'm a consumer in it, and I don't rate it because, you know, you lose integrity that way. Like, what's the point?
That's my theory, but if that's the case, of course, yeah.
What's the point, man? Integrity. Like, it's rated awards. You're rating people for what they are supposed to be doing, and yeah.
Who would you have liked to see? Okay, so last year Kenny won, and that was the one time someone's won other than Charlie. Who would you have liked? So Dotty, Target, Henry, Kenny, Robert Bruce, Reese Parkinson, Snoochie Shy, Tiffany Calver, and then Yinka and Shayna. If Charlie doesn't win, who do you think is a justified winner then instead?
I don't know.
You ain't got one?
I don't know.
Okay. Is that because you don't listen to radio as much?
I listen to the radio when my daughter's in the car.
And whoever's playing the most PG music is...
Do you know what I mean? Like, bro, there could be drill playing, but I know that it's censored.
Because of the time of day and
stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, I listen to Rob Bruce. Shouts to Robert Bruce.
He's saying your daughter's in the back screaming, Fiona.
He's a good radio DJ.
Yeah.
You know, he plays bangers on his show.
I don't think Kenny's missed a step still for me, so I was shocked.
Yeah,
that
and what are we basing it off? Is it like from a personality as well? Because Dotty's got one of the best personalities about.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to listen to Charlie Sloth speak. I only listened to Charlie Sloth when he did Fire in the Booth because I had rappers on there showcasing their lyricism,
and you had to listen to him because it's his show.
Yeah. Other than that, like, he was on Young Bane's project Quarantine,
shouting all over the place.
Sick project, by the way, but being hosted by Charlie Sloth was unnecessary.
And also stylistically, like, the hosting mixtape thing is for the underground rap thing. You know, like DJ Clue, Desert Storm, or our era when Big Ride is hosting Giggs' mixtapes, and like, you're more of a mainstream artist, and this is like a project where you're gonna rap and do little drill stuff, and we're just gonna do the gala song on there.
Yeah,
it doesn't need a host like that. It didn't, for me. It wasn't a good marriage.
Yeah, intro he's screaming, and then like there's like one other interlude where he's screaming, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
I've set him off, Chris.
I don't want to listen to this Don, bruv. Like, but you know, you can't like undermine what he's done.
No, the success is crazy, man.
The success is crazy, but at this point,
is he the best person?
Is he the best person? No.
Fair. Yeah, I would like to see Kenny win again. I wouldn't have been mad at a Rob Bruce.
Shouts to Henry for being on there,
or Henry. Real and truth, like, if Charlie don't win, it's for me between a Kenny, Rob Bruce, and actually, like I said, in terms of what you actually listen to, I've been in the car and I really enjoyed Yinka and Shayna's show.
In the morning,
their chemistry's really good on there.
And there's other like radio shows that I listen to, like when I'm up, I listen to Remy Bergs' show.
Yeah.
In the mornings, on the weekend, Nadia J, like Ace, they do R&B stuff, so that's I listen to that.
Of course, yeah. So I'm bagging it. So, but yeah, man, I think that's it. I won't go through everything because I don't want to do overkill on that. But yeah, I felt it was decent. Again, I just want us to get it back to having it in front of the live audience and getting the fans in the building, not just like the stiff industry lot.
Yeah,
get the proper fans in there. Obviously, I know they had the issue with the incident and that, but hopefully they can get a venue and, you know, we can kind of get back to that space of having our artists celebrated. It was nice to see Heartless Crew get the Legacy Award.
Yeah, and they close the show.
Celebrate our people whilst they're here and that, and those are true legends in the game as well.
You got to give people their flowers, man. Yeah. They're like, you know, pioneers of a scene that has grown and evolved to what it is today. So salutes to them, man.
And then, man, no matter what time they can always get booking.
Yeah,
because they're icons in this thing, innit?
Yeah, absolutely, man, and they should be seen as such. So, but yeah, I think we kind of skated over the music thing quickly with the reviews that we had. There's a couple other projects and songs that have come out.
Thames, oh my god,
Thames is exactly where I was going to. If Orange was a place, I think it's a nice, solid EP.
Yeah, it's probably only like 4 or 5 songs in that. It's like
5 songs. Thames is like, obviously, she's having a moment. Essence went off. She did her thing. She killed it. Her voice is distinct. Amazing voice. She's got 5 songs, short EP. I like a couple songs on there.
Do you like the song with Brent?
I do like the song with Brent, but I would have preferred if it was more of a Lucky Day on that song than a Brent.
Because styles mesh better together, or?
Yeah, and like Lucky Day can vocally sit with Thames.
Okay.
Which I think Brent Faiyaz can't. And it's not to say that he's shit, he's just, there's levels in it. And I think that the vocal marriage on that song would have been better if someone like Lucky Day was on that song, rather than Brent Faiyaz.
Yeah.
So, but it's still a good song.
Yeah. No. Listen, this has just felt like a hold me down for a little bit, because obviously I know Essence is killing the place, and the last project she got was for Broken Ears, which is last year, 2020. Because as I see the project come out, I was like, oh, what, you signed with Since 93? I said, look at you. You know, they signed her over here in the UK. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, Since 93 and RCA Records.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. Now it's time to really push her, because she's on tour. She's got shows in America in a minute.
She just announced a show in London at Lafayette.
I think it's going to sell Friday.
Yeah, on Friday, and it's going to be on Thursday, the 18th of November. So hopefully I can grab a ticket, because I think she's amazing. Yeah,
I'd love to see her live, and it's someone that it'd be nice to see her early on in the career as well.
Yeah, Avoid Things is another song on the EP that I really enjoy. So yeah, man, shouts Thames. If Orange Was a Place is out now.
That was it for me, project-wise, to be honest with you. I mean, this might be the moment we might need Chrissy's contribution, because apparently Cash is the greatest dancehall artist alive, greatest reggae artist alive, possibly, just off the one video. You not seen the video for Mood?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Soft porn.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
That's the ladies. That's the ladies.
I haven't watched the video in full. I just saw the promo clip when you put it out, and I was like, "Rah, swear down, yeah, is that what his man's on?"
Yeah, we'll do it. Watching your own time, Chris, and we'll speak about it next week.
Tapping.
Oh, you tapping it now? Yeah, it's. I'm surprised it's still up on YouTube.
What's it called?
It's called Mood. I think it's called
Mood.
Yeah. Which made sense, because obviously he'd been on like a little promo run recently. Done the podcast with the 90s lot. Shouts out to them. That was a good episode.
Shouts to them.
+44, I believe. I think he's even got an interview with Bobby Kasanga loading as well. So it's nice to see him working. You know, would have been nice to have him off the cuff. You know, so
yeah, man. But you know, it happens.
Yeah, we'll figure that out and that. So
7 dropped a project, an album.
7 Streeter.
7 Streeter. Drunken Words, Sober Thoughts.
Okay, good title.
Again, I enjoyed it. She's got a few features on there.
I listen, so I'll check this out though. Yeah.
Obviously, like she dropped her single "Guilty" featuring Chris Brown and ASAP Ferg. Me and Chrissy always banter her about like her finally dropping the video, and Chris Brown and Ferg don't even bother to show up.
Swear down.
What's he doing?
Where they at?
I'm busy, innit?
How can they like? She only has one verse, and then the other verses are occupied by them, and they can't even show up in the video.
It happens, man.
Like Chris Brown might be busy, but like you're
Chris Brown makes every video.
Yeah, for Young Thug.
Crumping furiously in the background for no reason.
Even like for some of the gangbangers in LA, bruv. Chris Brown makes the video, innit?
That's not really by choice. Come on, let's not be silly now.
But yeah, nah, she's got Jeremiah on there, which for me is the best song on the album. Wet Dreams. Okay. Cold. One day I'm gonna have like a Jeremiah appreciation day, because
we need to.
Yeah. He's cold with it.
He's another one that like cheat code a little bit. Like if you go and get a feature with him,
yeah, he's cold, man, and his projects are cold as well.
And what's the album called again? Sorry.
Drunken Word, Sober Thoughts.
Drunken Word, Sober Thoughts. I'll check. I ain't listened to that yet, so
yeah,
that'll definitely be on my weekend listen. There's better music, brother. Like if you catch me now and I sit with your project, I sit with you in it. Like
yeah,
there's very much.
Yeah, friend of the show, Amir Brave just dropped a single as well called Deja Vu. That's a nice one. You know, she's dropping music, man, which is good to see.
She's just working, but what I will say was, you haven't watched the show yet, but their performance for Pen Black Girls,
yeah,
they killed it.
Okay,
her and Annie killed it. Obviously because now we're doing a lot of the virtual stuff. The production, for their performance was cold as well. So you know, that just comes to my head really quickly. Shouts out to her and Annie and the production team and some of the girls they picked. Like, for me, it was spot on.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Shouts to Mia Brave. Gonna put that on a playlist as well, so look out for that. The updated version of the Off the Cuff playlist. It's by myself, Mr. Van. So check that out.
Mr. Van 7 on Spotify for the playlist, isn't it? Yeah, there's loads of bangers on there. Yeah, that's kind of it for me for music. I mean, unless you want to talk about Surviving Karen Civil, if you care.
She just got.
you don't know what's happening, is it?
Nah, I see the thing with Joyner Lucas, and him airing her out, and rightly so.
If all the accusations are true.
If all the accusations are true, but
I would love to have a conversation if our guest was here today. Someone wanted to speak about.
Because she was following it up as well. So and it's disappointing, and other artists have come out as well. So to me, there's no smoke without fire. So
okay, how do you feel like these things when so I remember when she had an interview. Well, she was on a Taxstone podcast and spoke about Dipset, and then when they what kind of maybe helped led up to them leaving Rockefeller, innit? It was over this little issue of parking spaces, innit?
Yeah.
And she said kind of alluding to Cam being a bit of a dick and not moving out of the way for Jay, and then the next day they were out of the building.
Yeah.
She was talking kind of spicy on the Taxstone podcast. And within like a day or two, Cameron responds and just kind of airs her out about stealing from Duke the God, I think it is.
Okay.
And the same figure as well of 60 grand. Because a lot of people don't know, Karen Civil was being in quite a few different circles when it comes to industry. You know, you got a movie.
Wayne, Meek, Nipsey.
Yeah, she's been around a lot of people. She's done a lot of work in it, so they call her a bit of like a media maven. Some people don't really know what she does, but she, from the outside looking, is successful in it. Long story short, Cameron accused her back then of stuff in it, and it just kind of was almost forgotten about and was not really much of an issue. And obviously, this thing blows up with Joyner Lucas, and what I find funny at times like this, maybe a little bit sad, is once that one person shouts really loud, everybody else starts coming out with their, because now it's like, okay, cool, is she maybe stealing with regards to Haiti? There's this thing with this girl called Jessie Wu. I don't know if you know what that is, Chrissy. She was often like reality TV, a Haitian lady.
Yeah.
She's won a court case against her and that.
Right.
So that's happening. It just it starts to feel like the whole world is caving in at once. Yep.
That's how it always happens. Like when the market crashes. Bro.
when the market has crashed.
Yeah, when the market's crashed, like everything comes crumbling down, and you know it seems like the same thing's happening to her at this minute.
It'll be interesting to see what she says, because she's got a podcast as well.
Yeah,
with her friend Ming Lee, which is on Joe Biden's network. So
yeah,
obviously you got to do the kind of like black wall of silence when you're getting cooked like this, because you fucked up. Because she was in. Bro, I ain't been in Clubhouse in ages yet.
Bro, that whole conversation brought Clubhouse back. Bro, I don't know who else is on that shit.
I didn't go back on the app, but someone live, even which you shouldn't do, someone like recorded it,
screen recorded,
and then live streamed that on YouTube, innit? So I'm just listening via there, and they're in there, flames in her. And there was one side of the conversation where people trying to support, they're kind of just saying that like, if Joyner Lucas did get finessed, maybe you should kind of look at his management, because they just kind of basically they sent over 60 bags without any kind of like plan of what was going to happen. Was the manager in on it? Is this kind of just a music business? If she was a man, would we be on her as much? Like all those things start coming out a little bit, because Wack 100 is kind of saying that like this is kind of how some people kind of get over, but there is a school of thought that like people do you wrong and they just say, oh, that's just business, but you fucked me over.
Yeah.
Like, that's not business. You screwed me over, bro.
Yeah.
And should bad business just be classified as business?
And I've always hated that saying. Like, what? Is that what we're going to do now, yeah? Like, oh, you fucked me over. Oh, it's just business.
Yeah.
Sometimes violence is the answer.
Yeah, no, his violence for him was coming out and exposed now, innit? So he fully went in. And then Meek Mill tweeted as well, you know.
They used to move heavy because one of his guys was dating.
She was dating Dean. And then obviously at the time he was with Nicki, so they did double dating. But then she got caught with Nicki. Meek and Nicki broke up. And allegedly, at the time, Meek was saying in interviews, alluding to like, Karen doing some weird stuff with the blogs and that to kind of sabotage him and write negative stuff in it. Right. Obviously, she's going to get ammunition and information from Nicki. That's very easy and plausible. But who knows? Like I said, it's funny to see when now everyone just starts piling on. Okay, I've got my story, my experience in this lady. But we'll see what happens, what she says in response, and if she can weather the storm in it. So,
yeah. Speaking of Meek, he announced his album coming out. You see him in Peckham in your ends with your crew.
I don't understand.
The funniest thing, I was going to go home that way.
And I seen Foles in the video. Bro, so the Foles is definitely in SN1.
Bro, I would have gone home that way. Yeah. Now, that high street obviously locked off now. There's no cars, no buses, and it's just
seriously
pedestrianised.
So you see the high street where you see that from McDonald's. No, from like where Netto used to be.
Where?
To be honest, it makes
all the way to basically where Primark is. Yeah. That long stretch of road.
Yeah.
Is there's no buses.
No buses.
Yeah.
No buses.
Do you know what? I'm not from that side of town, but I understand it.
No,
that road is mad narrow, bro.
Yeah, it's mad narrow
for a high street.
To have two buses like and double deckers going either side. When it was happening, it was fine. But now that it's like just a clear high street, it's cool. But I think in this moment, it really helped them because they were able to shoot a video there.
Yeah.
No traffic coming through. You can lock down the ends and that. You know. People are banning like,
bring your phantoms.
Drake's been super friends with kids and he didn't get this moment.
He wasn't just like
no shooting a video. Yeah, they've got a song.
Okay.
They've got a song
that's going to be on Meek's upcoming album.
So Drake didn't get the black carpet treatment in Peckham.
Yeah, someone said that Drake is somewhere crying.
Right, is that camera still rolling, H? Okay, cool.
Yeah, man.
But no, it's good to see, man. Like make the link ups. I'm always wary of the America and UK songs and that. So we'll see in it. The snippet I've heard doesn't sound fantastic, but hopefully when the song drops and the video drops,
I'm not sure like what I feel about an upcoming Meek album at this point because I'm not sure what I'm gonna get.
He dropped a song with Lil Uzi.
It hasn't gripped me. Like if Meek wants to be in that conversation that is obviously occupied by Drake, Kendrick and Cole, I think he needs to produce something.
But I don't think he wants to be because out of all of them, he's probably the most different because he's the street one. Obviously now
in terms of rappers that
that has a certain stature.
Yeah, but I said that remember it's an if though, and obviously we spoke about it before about like how I felt that the rest of the guys weren't pushing Drake, which is maybe part of the reason why we get like a slightly subpar Drake album because everybody's accepted he's number one in it. So if he does want to be part of the conversation, I think for him,
I think he's in the tier below, and I'm not sure if he's on their tier.
What he's always had as leverage is he's the real one for the streets, isn't it? Out of him, Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake, and even Wale, he's always been a street one, isn't it? He's the one that kind of is the young enough for this audience, but gives us the nostalgic energy of back then, which is why like the OGs would work with him, and he's the one to kind of go to, innit? But now we've got to a space where there's new young guys from the road, like a Dirk, like a Little Baby, and even he's acknowledged it because he goes to work with them. Everyone knows they've got to go and get Little Dirk feature.
Because Meek has never struck me as someone who's had a run. He's had like moments, but he hasn't had a run.
You don't think so? You don't think he's had a run?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I only. What is it that you'd want from him or you think that would push him into that space of?
We always kind of like mention when people have runs like probably the most high profile in recent years would probably be the Wayne run, where his project and features were running things for like a year and more straight.
I think Meek had a year of that. I think it was when he dropped what was the mixtape?
Dream Chasers.
Yeah, was Dream Chasers 3? I think when he dropped Dream Chasers 3 and his feature work in that whole space of time. I think he just come off the back of him dropping House Party, went on a feature run, and then dropped Dream Chasers 3. I think that space, maybe even if it was a year and a bit, I think that's when he was.
I think what Vans is speaking to is like when you're in that space where it's undeniable for you.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, he's had a run, but when if that's how Vans position it, I don't think by that definition, I don't think he's had any run.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, what features have we?
Yeah, when he's been good and had his moment, other people that have existed on par and better in that space, they've not overshadowed him. Because Meek's always dropped good albums and good projects.
Where's him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said what I was saying earlier to that defense is what he's had to his advantage is he always has been looked at as a street guy, innit?
Yeah.
But he's the one that can still make good songs. He will have a radio song, he'll have a girl song, he will still have stuff, he'll have stuff for the clubs, and he'll still have authentic stuff for the streets, but while still fulfilling the needs of the machine, which is by producing a good album, which is going to make them money. Because one thing about Meek is he produces good projects.
Yeah, and the thing is that like Meek he's successful, at the stuff that he's been doing. But at this moment in time, like I know that he's probably trying to branch out of MMG, but he's talking like he's had a run more so than Ross has. Ross has had a run.
You think he's talking like he's had a run? Are you hearing that in the music or something? Like maybe I'm not hearing what you're hearing.
Yeah, man. I think it may be a point where maybe like or it could be more. There may be more to that.
Do you know? I think he's had a run for him.
Yeah.
In terms of, he's been on since, let's call it 2012 maybe.
Uni times definitely. Yeah.
Until now, and
we had a moment where like he kind of, a lot of people didn't consider him after the back-to-back,
and then he came back harder than ever,
and he did,
proof in the pudding. He didn't know no gimmicks. He just
wins and losses. That album for me is his best one,
and then championships right after that. Like that was mad.
But he also, like I said, contact all the time. He had an enemy that was also our enemy. So so after the Drake thing,
got locked up.
You got locked up, innit? So we have a vested interest. Free our guy. That's our guy.
True.
So I think like that also, that's one part of the story that we doesn't get like maybe acknowledged enough in it, where it, obviously your freedom's going on because your family, that thing is crazy. Don't let me like downplay that. I've never been to jail in it, and touch wood. Long may that continue in it. But you had an enemy bigger than Drake after that point, innit?
True.
And the enemy you had, we also resonate with, and now became our enemy, and he went away for something super fickle. So it helped build a story. It's like, okay, forget about that Drake for a second. The man, the big bad white guy's trying to lock this guy up.
But ultimately, it's his music spoke for itself. It wasn't like
it helped the story. It's like wins and losses. See, man embraced it.
I won't say that because
championships. I came back from adversity.
Jail for a gimmick. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, it calls like what he went jail for wasn't a gimmick. It's not like, oh man said, like, let me pop a wheelie so I can go to jail and come back. No, I'm not saying that.
Like, so when I'm saying his music was like the proofs in the pudding, is because even if he did have that story to support whatever he's going through, if the music didn't back it, I wouldn't even be mentioning it now. You know what I'm saying? Those were two very hard and two of his probably best projects that he's
Championship done. Was probably like his biggest moment, or supposed to be his biggest album, but the moments were taken from his first collaboration with Drake since the beef and Jay-Z's What's Free verse. That was like the two major talking points of that album. So it's like, how does he? It was.
I say talking points. I wouldn't say the best points, but definitely talking points.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, people go back to that album and they reference those things.
So I feel like with